dear students, I am R.K. Sinha. Now I am taking the second session of the Unit 5. By that we have already seen that how the ABC analysis will work, always better control. The another analysis which is coming in the control techniques, the VED analysis, means vital, essential and desirables. So what are the vital items, what is the essential items and what is the desirable items? They are the very important thing. This is the second method of the controlling the store, that how our store will manage so that the expenses on the store items should be minimum and there will be the easy flow of the inventory to the production line. So the VD analysis attempt to classify the items used to three broad categories, namely vital, essential and desirable. The investigation of the categorize the things to premises of their critical for the business of the organization, means where we have to categorize the inventory and their as per their use and their value, so we can see that our business should not be affected. Vital items, what are the vital items? The vital categories things are those things which are without with the generation, exercise or some other action of the organization would stop or possibly be definitely influenced. Means if the vital items is not there, then your process line will be stopped. The assembly line can be stopped. They are very vital for the manufacturing line. So those are the vital lines. Most high value items are the vital lines. These are the items are where scarce items. By that where generation process or a production process can be stopped. The second item is that essential item. Essential item are those items whose stock out cost is very high for the company. Essential item which reduce the company performance but do not render it inoperative, unsafe. Non-availability of these things may bring about the trajectory loss of the creation of the partition and generation work. Substitution can be postponed without influencing the gear execution truly brief the spare at a time convincible. We are discussing the essential part of the items. The essential part of the items stock out cost is very high. Means if it is not available, then it is a very high imbalances in the production line and the equipment performance do not render it. But these items cannot stop the operation. They are unsafe, unavailable, these items that they cannot stop the operation. While in the vital items that can stop the operation, but in the essential item that cannot stop the operation, while they are very important part and it costs much more if a stock out cost is very high, but they are the less important than the vital item. Desirable item. Desirable items in importance where they are less than the essential, vital and essential items. Desirable things, those things whose stock out or need causes only a minor intrusion is there, a short length in the production plan and the cost brought about that exceptionally low. Means desirable item by which that our operation is that operation line is cannot be disturbed much more. The minor intrusion will be there of the short length and the cost brought down was exceptionally low. So there are the three things: vital, desirable, essential and desirable. The next analysis which can we see that SDE analysis. SDE stand for scarce, difficult and easy class of items. It attempts to classify the item on the basis of their ability on procurement, such as what are the factors which is responsible for these classes, that it is a non-availability, how scarce it is, does it have a longer lead time, where is geographical location of the supplier of the item and close by, far away, how reliable or unreliable of the supply of the items. By these factors, we can decide which are the items, the scarce, difficult and easy. The scarce items, these are the most part of the supply of that channelized through the government offices or the off chance that the organization feels that a considerable measure of the time and in addition consumption is engaged, which securing the things, and it would be prudent for the organization to obtain these things say once in a year, because these are items are its procurement is taking very high lead times, so it can be properly estimated that how much item is required, but because their lead time is much more, so we can procure in once in a year so that we have a proper lead time and the material should be available in the store for the production line. These items are the rare items. It is a short supply. If a stock out, it costs much more because its lead time is much more difficult. These items are accessible, indigenous, however, hard to secure. But the difficult classification additionally incorporates these things which are required from faraway places, which provides cannot be dependent on the dependent upon. Means it is difficult to procure these items because it is a far away from the production site, and supplier location is far away, and from there the we procure the items is much more difficult. Now then it might happen that a specific thing are the hard to fabricate, and its production of these items are very much difficult. So it is a specific thing to hard to fabricate further in a short time. So there might be not a single or two organization which make these things, because its vendor is also less. So it is a difficult items. So we have to take care of these items that its vendor is also less, and these items are the complex in nature. So its production will be not so easy. So the we have to procure, we have much more time we have to give the manufacturer or vendors to procure these items. Keeping in the mind and the end goal to operate such thing in time of the generation, and the producers must give a request well ahead of time. Such things are likewise grouped under difficult category. It is a very difficult but not a scare. It is a difficult but not a scare to procure these items from the producer. So producers are very less. So 2 or 3 producers are there, vendors are there. So we are feeling difficulty to procure frequently such items. Easy. As name recommends, these things are effortlessly, promptly accessible. This incorporates everyone. Those things are created by business benchmark things which can be acquired local without any difficulty. Means the easy items are there. Their vendors in the nearby and abundance in that way. So it is easy take the items from the nearby vendors. In a locally we can procure it without any time, without any lead time. So these items are come in a easy items. So we have learned scare items, difficult items and easy items. By this way we can also control the inventory. This is one of the control techniques to control the inventory in the store. HML analysis. HML analysis means high, medium and low. Means the HML analysis is very similar to ABC analysis. The difference being, instead of uses value, the price criterion is used. In this classification, the item used by company are arranged in descending orders of their unit price. After this, the administration of the organization utilizes its circumscription and judgment to choose the cutoff lines for choosing the 3 classifications. Means it depends on the cost also. Difference being that instead of uses value, the price criterion is used. Value, instead of value, the price criterion is used, and the classification used by the company are arranged in descending orders of their unit price. After that, the administration of the organization utilize it in circumstances, in such as circumstances and judgment to choose the cutoff lines for choosing these classifications. How it works. For the example that way, the management may decide that all the item unit price value above 500 should be incorporated H item, high value item. Those items which falls between the rupees 50 and 500 should be categorized as the M item, means medium flow item. And the item whose unit price fall below the 50 rupees, which categorized as an item low items, low value items. The categorization therefore decided by the management. It is some like the ABC system is there, but they are taking the value, they are taking the price, unit price. So they usually understand that the highest cost of that one, a cost range is the H items, medium cost range is the M items, and lowest cost range is the L items. So by this slide you can easily know that what is the HML analysis is there. So all the three we have discussed the control techniques. These are the control techniques to control the inventory in the store. So by which, how we have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 items are there, how we control the inventory in the store. So by this process we can control the control the items in the store, so that we can know that those of the high value items. So close monitoring should be there, and there will be we will see that much of the working capital is not dead items. They should be properly in line, finance is properly in pipeline to use in the production line. So this will be these are the techniques we can use it, and we can put a full stop on the unnecessary use of working capital for the sake of inventory. Next point is that FSM analysis. FSM analysis depends on the rate of the issue or rate of utilization extra parts. Alphabets FSN stand for fast moving, slow moving item and non moving item. So this classification is very clear that way, that FSN means fast moving items, slow moving item, non moving items. Means FSA classification framework orders the thing in the light of the how the every now and again the parts are used in the assembly line or a production line, how much time they are utilized. The usual classification of the items and inventory can be classified based on the following criteria. So these criteria is quite clear that way. The fast moving items which are frequently used for the inventory for more than once in a particular day and time period, means it is a daily it can be used on the production line. The fast moving item that daily in abundance it is used in the assembly line. Slow moving items which are the less frequently used and maybe once in a specific day and the time period. Means the things which are the less frequently used, meaning once in a specific day, 1 or 2 days it is used, slow moving item, and non moving items which are not used in the inventory all in a specific time period. Means it is rarely used in the periodic time like 6 months or a year. So we have to very cautious on the non moving item. This should not be procured much more, because here capital will be jammed. So we are not capital will be trapped here. So we are very particular the non-moving item which is used in a periodic way. For the 6 months it is one is used, or for 1 year is used. So this will be very cautiously taken into considerations. So this way we also having a wide monitoring, a very particular monitoring in the fast moving and slow moving item. Why these items are not available, then production line will be hampered, and the product will be taken the more lead time for the manufacturing. So this will be very much cautious on the fast moving and slow item and their procurement. And all the same time we have also cautious on the non moving item, because there is no much more in monitoring is required, only to see that these items are not procured in abundance, so that they are in non-moving items. They cannot be used frequently. They are used in a periodical time of the 1 year or 6 months, once in a year, or two one a year. So this should be taken very carefully seen that way. So this way we are having ABC analysis, VED analysis, HML analysis, FSM analysis. There are the more other analysis also, but the most common is the ABC analysis. So by this way we have some more analysis will be there. So this analysis, that ABC analysis and this HML analysis, VED analysis, these analysis are used to control the inventory in the store, and by that you control the inventory. You can have a better use of your capital, working capital, and we'll see that your working capital is not involved for the long time and for the dead inventory. So we can have increase the profit of the organizations. So this way we are controlling the inventory in the stores. In the ABC analysis, it is very clear that the most common in use ABC analysis is there, and by ABC is always by slogans is always better control. So we can see that ABC analysis is the most effective use of monitoring of inventory in the store, or categorization of inventory in the store. By that a store man or a store personnel will see a very cat eye on the seeing the consumption of these ABC items. A class items are very rarely very used in a high value item, very high value items, and their volume is very less, but their value is very high. So already explained that way, that A class items are having a 10% of its volume, but their value is 70% of the total store cost. And the B class items, which already explained, you see that how much we to cost us to enforce the things, to monitoring, in what way that these items should be properly available in the store at the time of their use in the production line. So this B item is having a volume of only 20%, but the value is also 20% of the store cost. And the C item, which is having a volume by 70% items are there, but its cost is only 5%. So there is no much more consideration for these C class items. The ABC analysis and this HML or VED analysis are very much used in the stores management, and by that we can see that these analysis can be very helpful in the store management that way. So one thing is also for looking after this dead inventory, because we have to minimize the dead inventory so that these control techniques are applicable this way. Because the dead inventory will eat the profit, will certainly add the profit in a very fast way, and the organization will come in the loss due to inventory improper control of the inventory. So this analysis will come in the picture. And this ABC analysis is very much in use in so much time, on the 40 years more than 40 years in the stores management era, when the modern industry has grown up. So their need to have a lesser inventory, because most of the working capital is blocked. So they use a lesser inventory, so that in a such a way that production lines should not be hampered or properly used. So this is the classifications. These classifications are very much valuable for their, if you want to control the inventory, or if you control the inventory means if you have a minimum working capital should be used for the inventory. You can tell not minimum, that optimum use of capital means it is not more, not less, not more, not less use of capital for the inventory, because some of the inventory items are dead inventory. Suppose then dead inventory are that portion of working capital is blocked. So this portion of profit will be the rendered out or eaten by this improper control of the techniques. So this way we can come to the conclusion that these control techniques have a proper balancing the production cost and the inventory cost. These control techniques will decide that there will be the proper use of working capital in the inventory, the proper use and utilization of the inventory in the part of the working capital should be used. What part of the working capital should be used? It is a very clear in this way that the store can be managed by these analysis in a very proper way, and by that we have a close monitoring on the inventory on that, because there are so many techniques are there on the line of the value, volume, fast moving, slow moving. So these items are there. So by that we can having a very much uses of that inventory in the lines. So nowadays we are also having a placement of computers. So we are having a slot in the computers to see that, to give a signal that these items are going to be vanished within 1 week or something, that 2 week, what are the lead time, that before the lead time it can show you that way that this item is going to vanish, so that we can procure the items within the lead time of this A class item or B class item or C class item, and we have a clear monitoring of these items in a much more particular way. These process that these store control techniques are much more helpful in to minimize the dead inventory and the optimal use of the inventory in production line or in assembly line, which uses the assembly line which uses the assembly line, that there will be not a assembly line will be stuck up due to the want of inventory. So there will be no storage cost, shortage cost. Means shortage cost is much more. For if inventory is not available, the shortage cost is much more. So we have to see that assembly line or production line should not be hampered due to the store cost, and due to the shortage cost, and due to the unavailability of the materials. Such things, that these items are, which are the fast moving items, meaning daily used. We have the standard vendors, and naturally these standard vendors are, the rate contract will be there, so that they can, after some periodic, they can supply a much more. And nowadays the process is there, that we have to control the inventory, the vendors, we have to control the vendors to continue the resupply within a periodic time period, so that there is a no need to store much more item in the inventory, and your working capital is not that much of used. So your working capital is free for the operational cost. So this is the item that now the ancillaries companies are coming, and these routine ancillaries companies are coming to support the main industry for the supply of the fast items in a periodic manner. That after 3 days these items should be available. After 3 days again these items are available. There are no need to store for a month, because if you store for a month, then the rest of period the item are dead in the store. So we can see that the vendors should be very much affected, that one, the production line, and they're very much knowledge of the production line. They should be educated, and they should be trained, so that the material should be available in the production line before it is required, before some minutes or some day it is required. So there is no need to store for a much more period. It is difficult to say that which item whenever applicable is available in the store. So that things can be done only in the case of example is Maruti is having so many ancillary industry are there. So they do not require the item to store, but the things, the vendors should be supply the item in the assembly line or a production line after some periodical way, after in a daily process, or a periodical or twice or thrice in a week, so that their item, whenever it is required, it is rotated through a store only for billing, but it come directly to the assembly line. So there is no need to store it, and the working capital is properly used. So there is no need of the blocking of working capital for the stored items. So in this way, now today process is there, that inventory on site, inventory on the day, means that whenever the inventory is required, the inventory is available. Means on Monday we have want to inventory, so there is no cost inventory for the storing for the 1 month. We can have a inventory on Monday morning or Saturday evening or Sunday evening by the vendors on the production line or manufacturing line. This way we can have a better use of the working capital on the inventory. So such things are very much in use nowadays. The vendors are very much trained in this way, and a lot of ancillaries are coming on the way to support the main production line of the big business or the main industry. So this way we can have a better control on by use of ABC analysis, VED analysis, HML analysis, and FSM analysis is there. So this way we can use it in not an extra inventory, but the use to have a proper inventory which can be used in a proper day. These analysis can stop the unnecessary storing of the inventory in the store, and they can also having to aware it that which inventory is coming in use in what time. So we can have an assess of the lead time, and we have to procure the item before it can be used on the assembly line. So we can have a very better result. We'll see that we will see in the throughout the in this unit 5 that how we'll control the inventory, means the inventory control techniques are involved. So we can have a very better way that how is this control is affected, and how is this control is will be utilized for the better use of your inventory, for the optimal use of your inventory. So by this chapter we can see that how the inventory is utilized, how we control it, how we analyze it, and what are the process by which we can control the inventory or control its movement in the store. And there will be the easy working in the store management. There will be not a sluggish management store. The store personnel should be well aware of the things, that which is the dead inventory going to be dead, or which is the fast inventory, and there is no shortage cost will be there. Means if the items are required in operation in line, then this should be available in the store. By that time, if the store is not, if you not properly monitor the store, then the shortage cost will come in picture. So this is the things that we can control the inventory, plan the inventory, utilize the inventory by these methods. So this can be used in a proper way, this way. So ultimate importance of this chapter is that, what is the ultimate importance of this chapter? So if you want some inventory, there should not be thrust on working capital. The working capital should be not, we can use a working capital, that portion only which can be needed. So for that one, nowadays there will already, I have told you that production online. So in the assembly line, the vendors are directly supplying the item, rotated through a store, and whenever you use some Monday morning, they will use in Maruti, then it will come to the Monday morning or Sunday evening, so that there is no need to store it in the store for a long period to block the working capital. So these analyses were very helpful for the not on the main industry line, for the SLE industry also, for the small industry also. So which item is to be supplied for the main industry, so that these items should be available for supply. These items should be reached to destination in a proper way, in a proper way, and in a less period of lead time. So we can see that our production program in line with the availability of the inventory, so that we can have a better utilization of our working capital and operation process, so that the manpower, the cost of manpower and the cost of the inventory and the cost of machines should be used and optimally utilized in a very proper way. This way we can conclude that the inventory, which are the very important part and a large portion of working capital is have a good expended on that very amount, then working capital which is used to procure the inventory, a portion of that one should be minimized by certain analysis, by certain control techniques. These control techniques can minimize the cost of inventory and maximize the use of their inventory for the production line, and the production line will not be suffered due to the shortage cost of the inventory, and so that we can have a proper use of the inventory in a proper way. So this chapter will finish. I am finishing this chapter for this. What is the use? Why we are controlling the inventory? Why we are controlling the inventory? What is the effect on working capital of the inventory? And how we categorize the inventory? How to monitor the inventory in the store? That we have already control techniques, which you have already detailed about that this chapter ends here. And you all have a knowledge of the keywords in your course material. Very much punctual about that. You must thorough study the keywords and summary of the each chapters. Then you came to know about the things properly in practically and theoretically also. Thank you. कितना हुआ?